Welcome to the Tansson Talk Show. This is Brandon K. Hedgepeth, the host and creator of the show, and I'm so glad to be here today. Continuing on our mission to bring people together, I will be having a conversation with Stephen Chen. Stephen, welcome to the show, and I'm so glad you could be here today.
I'm honored to be here.
Yeah, and I'm so glad to have you today. And so, first of all, how are you doing today, Stephen?
Play a little bit of ping pong today, so that's about it. Yeah, kind of slept in today. It felt great, so I could say my 2 days. Yeah, it's been all right, but also a little bit tired. Could have been better.
Yeah, I completely understand that, but at least you're able to have, some ping pong today, and hopefully it was a good game.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was okay.
All right, well, I'm glad to hear it was a-okay, and I'm very excited for us to, to speak again and have a conversation. And so, before we get started, are you able to introduce yourself for the watching or listening audience here today?
Sure. Hello, my name is Stephen Chen. I'm a senior at Old Dominion University, going for my master's. Currently, I'm doing a research internship at Old Dominion University for the Research Foundation at ODU. I'm also part of the ODU Table Tennis Club, which I'll be having a tournament, a U.S. College tournament soon, and and I'll be entering the U.S. tournament on April.
Wow, that's impressive, and I'm very actually excited to hear more about the tournament. So, if we're actually able to, to start off with that, because that sounds exciting.
Uh, Pretty much the one for the college tournament is basically like every college, like college from UVA, VTech, William and Mary, JMU, VCU, CNU. I think other schools, like we all be competing against each other. So top first two of the school, whoever got first place and second place, will be going to the national championship. And usually our school is usually third place, but so we'll try to make it to second place or first place, at least second, because first place is too hard because UVA always dominate first place every year. So
Well, I definitely hope that you all, score, first or second place, and hopefully the first to get that grand prize.
yeah, that'll be good for me too.
Yeah, and how long have you been involved in it?
About I'll say about a year. I'll say about a year.
Okay, that makes sense. And I said that's really cool though. And and how long had you known about this tournament?
I just entered my first tournament last semester. It was. I mean, I play well. I beat. There are seven schools. I beat five of them, so I only lost to two schools. That's about it. And then, pretty much. What else? Oh yeah. So pretty much, there's going to be a U.S. tournament coming up in April, which I need to register for that one too. Which that has nothing to involve with school, just a personal tournament with grand prize and everything.
That makes sense. And I mean, that's pretty cool though that you are able to get involved in this. And I definitely wish you all the best for the upcoming tournaments.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know that you said you're pursuing your master's degree, and so that sounds so exciting. And so, how long have you been in preparations for, I guess, pursuing the masters?
Uh, I started preparing for last semester. I got accepted last. Oh no, I prepped for like a for ever since they told me about it, and then like about 2 years ago, and then I got accepted last summer, and then I took my first two courses of in the graduate course last semester while I'm still pursuing my bachelor degree. So, and then currently I'm also doing the research for one of the research professor at ODU, which is about which is about what he's doing about AI security, which I don't really know anything about security, so I'm only going to do the artificial intelligence part instead of the security part. So yeah.
Well, that makes sense. And actually, taking a step back a bit, so of course, I know that you are a computer science student,
Mhm.
and so I know that you're pursuing your master's, but have you received your bachelor's degree yet?
I have not. I'll be receiving my bachelor degrees in fall, next fall.
Awesome. And then continuing it straight through full time master's degree.
Yes.
That's exciting. First of all, congratulations, Stephen.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely it's a very big accomplishment, and I know I had a chance to speak with you on my previous podcast 2 years ago on well, I guess 3 years ago actually, on an episode that released on January 6th of 2021.
Well, that's exact the time. That's exact time of today. What a
Yeah,
coincidence.
yeah, I know it truly is a coincidence. And so, first of all, does it feel like it's been that long?
Actually, I have not. It feels like instead of being 3 to 4 years, it feels like it's only been like 2 years. That's what it feels like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, time just really, flies here. And so, yeah, and I know that, of course, when we spoke then, you were, just a semester into your freshman year over winter break. But I guess taking a step back though, so like, what really brought you into wanting to do computer science?
All I can say it's an excuse for me to play on my computer. So it's just an excuse for me to play video games on my computer. That's it. If my mom asks me what I'm doing, I'll just say I'm just taking a break from coding. Yeah, it's pretty much just an excuse. And then um, I always like I I always like to make games, but so another thing is that I got into computer science just to make games, but the more I got into it now, I prefer just not make games and just do other things now. So yeah, pretty much make an AI out of it or something like that. Do other things, make a software. Yeah, probably make a website using code instead of you know how the easy way, pretty much just drag and drop now instead.
Yeah, I mean, like I said that's really cool though, and I love that you originally just did this as a way to just play computer games, and but now here you are pursuing not just your undergrad degree, but also further education master's
Yes.
degree on top of it. And so, did you ever think that you were going to be here when you first started pursuing this field?
At first, I only thought that I was gonna do my bachelor and then finish and then get a job, but then I realized that I was like, let's go for a master. Yeah, I was like, let's go for a master, and that's pretty much how I got into it.
I mean, that's pretty cool though, and ultimately, like, did you already know about the master's program? I know that you're continuing through at Old Dominion University,
Uh,
ODU, but
yes, my advisor told me about it because my advisor like saw my thing was a little bit ahead in like during my freshman or during my sophomore year. So she told was it freshman year, a second semester. And then sophomore year, I was told about it too again, and then I just got interested. So that's pretty much I'll say my advisor got me into it. So yeah,
well, that's amazing that your advisor was able to bring you into it, and especially like what sounds like not too long after we spoke the last time.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, but I mean that's still impressive though, and so I mean even though that it may have taken potentially two tries for your advisor to convince you into it, sounds like that you are enjoying it overall.
Yeah, because most of the course, because for a graduate course, it's like stuff that you can choose the stuff you actually want to learn instead of like you forcing to learn something. So it's actually stuff that's going to be in your field instead of something that's doesn't really matter that you're never going to touch ever again. So that's the best part about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's something that I love about, I mean, for being a master student myself, is that you get to take what you actually want to do and pursue a more specialty part of your field as opposed to just, here's a little bit of everything, good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I mean, is interesting to, I mean, to see that. And so I guess diving further, so how was it for you when you first got like adjusted to college at the very beginning in fall of 2020?
First, when I first got into college, You see, I was a slacker in high school, so I was still slacking in college. So first year. I won't say first year wasn't going up well for me. I mean, I was passing my courses, but it was not with the grades that I want. So after that, second and third, and now I readjusted myself to the point I need. It's either I need to get an A, or it depends on the depend. If I'm on the edge, I'm just hoping for a C. But if I can get an A, I will get an A in the class. If I'm like on the edge of failing, then I will just hope for everything. Then I'll just hope for anything I can pass. So that's it.
Yeah, I mean that makes perfect sense though, and I mean I'm glad at least that you're able to like add that discipline to yourself because I know not everyone really has that sort of discipline
Mm-hmm.
to really focus down on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, and I guess actually to inquire a little further too. So like, have you always had the sort of discipline to really just focus down on everything and sort of take in the task at hand?
Um, no, because in high school, before I started college, just like during high school, it's just that I didn't really care what my grade was. As long as go next, as long as I go to the next course, I'll just go to the next course. But ever since I got into college, I started caring more about whether I passed the class or not. So it's like I have to pass it. I have to pass it. So that's I think it started changing ever since I entered college. So yeah.
That makes perfect sense. And yeah, and would you say that this was like right truly when you got into college, or did it take a little bit of being in college to really adapt this mindset?
I think it took a little bit because at first I was still having the same mindset I had before until I realized that I need to pick it up. So yeah, I think it took a bit. It took like a
That make
semester. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I guess for you, like adapting to the college environment, what would you say would have been like the biggest changes, like going from high school, and not really needing to care about stuff like grades and what you're doing to college and being a bit more on your own and having to figure things out and adapt that new discipline for yourself.
I guess that you need. I guess I think it's like the time because because during high school, if you don't go to class, you're gonna get in trouble, depending on the teacher. But here, if you don't go to class, if you go to class or not go to class, based on your choice. If the class is not mandatory, 9 out of 10 chances I would not go. But as long I'm able to get an A in the class, then I will not go. Or it's like, or I know I'm guaranteed I'm going to pass the class no matter what, then I will not go. If the class is mandatory, I will go, but I'll just be looking at my phone because usually those classes are pretty much easy. So I haven't had any issue with class that's mandatory yet. So
That makes sense. And would you say that you would attend classes most of the time, at least?
no, no. I skip my classes all the time.
And how would you say it's been for you? Like, I guess working with working with the course load while also not, attending all of the classes.
Most of the class right now are stuff are pretty common sense in computer science, all because it's mostly just codes right now. Which the teacher professors are well posted notes. The notes is there, so and all I got to do is complete the assignments. If I complete the assignments, then I have no issue completing the exam. So as long as I'm able to complete the assignment, then the exam should be pretty easy. Notes is there, everything's there. If you need help, there's Google, there's GPT, there's everything. So going to class is I'd rather just sleep or hang out with friends and go out and eat instead of go to class. Which yeah, it's like good to ask instructor, but I can if I have an issue, I can always email them. So
At least you're making good use of the resources that are available to you, and and allow for you to sort of conform to your own way of learning.
yes, yes.
Yeah, and I guess like adapting to, like I said, to being in college as well. How long did it take for you to get involved in different? Yeah. organizations if you're a part of any, as well as adjusting to campus life.
I think the life of it's still the same. It's that I just joined freshman. I think freshman year I just joined the esports club. After that, I stopped. And after that, I didn't join any club until junior year. Junior year, a second semester, which I joined the table tennis club. My friend, I like it was I don't when I walk into a place, they just told me, "Hey, are you Steven?" I was like, "How you know me?" He's like, "Oh, a person told me." And then they told me this Asian with glasses, with long hair, blah blah blah. I was like, "You're Steven, right?" I was like, "Yes, I'm Steven." Well, okay, perfect. And start talking to him and say, "Okay, if you want to try table tennis, come here." And then I was like, "Okay, it looks fun." And then I just tried. Then after that, I just got into it. Yeah.
Well, hey, you have a reputation already.
I don't know how. It's just like really a coincidence. So
Well, nevertheless, it does sound like at least you, like I said, that you enjoy everything, and I mean, it was, I guess, meant to be.
yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, and so for you joining esports, how was that for you? And are you still involved within esports?
No, I'm not involved with the esports club anymore. Just like it's the how can I say it? It's like because yes, I'm sitting on the computer 24. Yes, I'm sitting on a computer playing a video game, but it's really tiring. And it's really tiring. I'd rather be doing. I prefer to be doing something else. And if you're forced to do something, you usually don't like it anymore. So if I'm forced to practice, I don't like it. So even though it's something I like, it's like yeah, but table tennis is different. I can go ask somebody else to play with me and practice me at any time if they're available. Or every time I finish my class, I'll just go to the place, play it. If they're there, I'll play with them. If they're not, I'll just go back and sleep. I'm not forced to do it with anything, so that's why I like it. But esports, like, if they said there's practice today, I must attend at this time, at this moment. I must be there, or I'll get like suspended. Not suspended, like like I won't be able to do this during. Yeah, I gotta make it up for it, and then which I don't like it, so that's why I stopped.
That makes perfect sense, though, and yeah, I think sometimes there's a difference between doing something for fun and doing something because you're forced to.
Yeah, it's like it's a big difference. It's like because it changed the enjoyment. So
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, though. And so ultimately, how long did you end up lasting in esports? Because I know you hadn't officially joined yet, but you were thinking about it when we had last spoken
I
in.
think about a year, like a whole school year. I think it was the entire school year, one school year, the freshman year.
Yeah, for us coming into college, though, especially for you as a campus student,
Mm-hmm.
I said it must have been an interesting time, though, in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic and everything.
Yeah, I slept all day, even though I don't have to go to class. It's mostly online. I think it was the best time, but not for my grades though. But for me, mentally, yes. But for my grades, no, it was not the best time.
What would you say has been like, I guess, the biggest change from, I guess, your attitude and workflow, during the midst of the pandemic to to now a few years removed?
The biggest change, I guess, ever since they told me about the master program, I'll say that because they told me that my GPA must be good enough. I must pass these requirement courses to do the master. So ever since they told me about it, okay. After that, I started focusing more. If they never told me about it, I'll probably just pass the class and don't care. But I have to have a high grade able to maintain a good GPA. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, it definitely sounds like it's been like very influential within your life, both of course academically and personally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Gotta work sometime for my research, and then gotta do classes at the same time, which I gotta pull out a lot of all nighters sometimes.
I would imagine as such, and so hopefully you're still able to get sleep somewhere in there.
I do. It's just skip class. That's it.
Well, that's certainly one way to do it, but I'm glad at least that you're able to at least find a workflow that was it that works for you. And so thus far, as of speaking, at the I guess now beginning of the spring 2024 semester. So so how many master's classes have you already completed thus far?
I started last semester at fall. I completed two. I'm doing one today this semester because they I didn't know that if I didn't know that financial aid won't cover my master program, my master courses. So instead of doing two, I'm only going to do one this semester. So yeah, after that, I fully graduate my bachelor, then I will do all master, and then I'll be getting most likely, hopefully, getting grants from this school. So yeah,
That sounds exciting, and I definitely hope that you were able to get those grants.
yeah, I got to do the TA job.
Are you excited for that though?
um, if the student give me money, I'll just check that grade of an A plus on the grade book. So if they give me money, if they're not, I'll be the most strictest TA in the world. No, I'm just joking. Um, just depends on the professor who I work for. Depends on the professor actually, because I heard some professor are like really like just push all the stuff to you, let you do all this, and then sometimes they just let you teach the course. Actually, I'll say it probably depends on the professor if I'm be excited or not. If it's on a good professor, then I'll be more likely excited because I'll be relaxing, just grade a couple students' assignment and then relax. Yeah,
That makes perfect sense. And as a student, have you had hopefully a bunch of good professors?
yeah. I have a couple. There's a couple professor. Hopefully, I'll be TAing for. There's a couple I don't want. So yeah.
Well, definitely sounds like at the very least that's at least majority of enjoyable professors, and I hope that you're able to get one that is able to work with you and and challenge you, but provide you a fun workflow.
I don't want no challenge. Just let me relax. Give me a couple students as homework. I'll grade them. After that, don't email me or message me. Just let me relax.
Well, I definitely know, from personal experience that being a master student is indeed a tad stressful. So hopefully you're able to find one at least that can provide you a good balance there.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And yeah, I mean, it's really fun though. I mean, being able to hear what like a little bit of what you've been up to, and so before I ask about, of course, some of the research you're doing. So have you been working outside of just your studies?
No, I have not. I mean, I started the research in the summer, so I've started thinking this summer. So that's so if you say outside of school time, so it's summer probably counts. But other than that, probably only been working with the professor there. Yeah.
Okay, good to know. And yeah, and before I guess I ask about that, so so overall, since this is your senior year of of undergrad before you head on and finish out your master's program, so I guess how what has overall been your favorite and least favorite experience thus far in undergrad?
Undergrad, I think it's the. I'll say it's it's most likely the math courses that I don't like. And then what else? What else? What else? You see, I like everything else but the math course I have to take. I'm looking at it. I was like, and then I look at my programs. I don't see anything that I need to do with this math formula and my code. So all this math courses I'm taking, I think the school should just drop them by half to the point I don't need to go up to all the way there because there's literally no point.
I completely understand that, and yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of math myself, at least in terms of academic math. But yeah, I completely understand that. But I'm glad at least to hear that everything else has been enjoyable for you and that you're enjoying your experience thus far.
Yeah, everything else is like enjoyable. That's just the math part. Just the math part. I'm not enjoying that part. Sometimes if I get it right in the first try, okay, it's enjoyable. But if I keep getting it wrong to the point it's frustrating, then I'm not enjoying it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, I am definitely fully with you there. And yeah, but I really want to hear about your research, and a little bit as to what your focus areas have been in computer science thus far.
Current I'm doing like on artificial intelligence, so it's basically on. But so my part is pretty much on the memory efficient part. So it's pretty much a memory efficient. So I have to read a lot of papers on memory efficient, and then eventually, I'll be having a lot of meetings and starting of the upcoming semester with different professor with their group, and then I have to keep doing research, have upcoming updates on my new progress, and then on the update of this project that I'll be doing, which I'll be using memory, which will require memory efficient. So, and then I'll another part of my research part is probably like converting image to a different thing, stuff like that. It, um, which I have to combine those two to which I have to combine those two. Yes. So what it's like is that what how should I explain this? Okay, I'm just gonna give you an example. Pretend that it's like almost the same thing as a filter, but instead of being a filter, it can change the entire thing just by what you want. So like if I said that I want to be in a Avatar movie, or like in the Avatar, the Airbender, it would change the entire background on me as an avatar. But if somehow I'm wearing something, it will only change the background, but it will not change me. It will only change the background. So that's pretty much it. And then I need it. It must be processed really quick. So in order to do that, in order right now I'm currently looking at that is like taking picture of each frames and then making it into a video. But that's going to take a real and then in each frame it'll be converting into another thing. So which that's going to take a long time. That's where the memory efficient comes from. So that's where I need to solve it. So once that I can get that part done, I think the project's pretty much I'll say about 90% complete.
That sounds really fascinating. And I mean, and so I guess I'll actually ask. So, How did you find this as a specialty? I mean, was it just because this is just research that was available, or was there something that really came up that was just like, oh, I want to explore this further?
Always been a robot guy. So I guess artificial intelligence is the closest thing to a robot. And then he knows about it. And he was doing all the professor was also doing something with AI. So I just decided to do with him. And also some of my friends are with him, so he knows a little bit about me too. And then he just gave me this memory efficient things, and then just let me try it. And then I just continue on doing it. So then yeah, that's pretty much it.
Nevertheless, that is so cool though, and I'm so glad that your interests sort of, aligned. And yeah, I mean, artificial intelligence is definitely here to stay, and so that's really cool that you're able to sort of be on the front lines of this with research.
Yeah, but yeah, if people start losing jobs, I'm sorry, but
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, nevertheless, though, it's so cool though that you're able to, like I said, to learn more about it and to, like I said, hopefully help bring the next generation of AI to the forefront. And so, what do you hope to do, like with your research, both I guess now as a linked program student and then soon as a full-time master student?
all I care about after I graduate is probably make the most money as possible. Yeah, and then after that, retire at a young age, and then relax the rest of my life. That's hopeful. That's the goal. But if to speak in reality, discover something that nobody ever discovered, and then hopefully getting an award. No, get known for that shit. Get known for that. Get known for that, and then and then other people wanted to use that part. This time I dropped the S bomb. Almost dropped it.
But yeah, I mean, I'm so glad though that I mean that at least you have a plan and that you're and that you definitely are looking forward to. I mean, using it to its full potential in the future, and definitely early retirement definitely sounds really fun, especially in this day and age.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. And out of curiosity, since since you mentioned like potential early retirement too, what would you want to do even like with your day to day outside of everything, if that were to come to be and hopefully a few decades to come or maybe sooner.
Mm, what I want to do, I probably just stay home, watch movie, play video game. After that, go out play some table tennis, and then after that, talk with friends. And then we'll sit in my bed, lay in my bed too. Yeah, that's what I want to do. And then after that, money just comes in. Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense though. And like, are there any particular types of movies that you enjoy over others?
Mm, Pop, not really. Currently, I mean, I just finished watching Godzilla. So other than that, let's. I don't know which movie got coming up lately. Yeah. So it depends on. I guess I can say it. It has to depends during at that time. It has to be out during that time. What movie's like really good at that time? Then I'll be watching it. If not, I'll just probably just play video games, go out, walk around, eat something, go somewhere, vacation. Yeah, that's the goal. But in reality, that's most likely not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, nevertheless, though, I mean, I think it's important for us to have our dreams and ambitions and just see where it takes us. And if you were to travel, where would you want to travel to out of curiosity?
Hmm. Japan and Korea.
That sounds pretty cool. During your time in college, have you been able to travel at all?
Through my time, no, I have not. I mean, if you talk about if you talk about from state to state, yeah, I went. I just came back from New York a couple of days ago, but after that, I've never been outside the country for a while. So yeah, the only place I travel is probably China. But other than that, I haven't been out of the country in a while. So
That makes sense. And how was your New York trip?
it was, it was all right. After that, overall, it was a good time.
That's definitely, well, I said, good to hear. And have you been to New York before that?
Yes, I've been in New York a couple of times because it's my hometown. So I go back and visit I go back to visit my aunts and uncles sometimes, and then most of my relatives' weddings are up there. So I usually go back and attend weddings. So yeah,
That's actually pretty cool. I actually didn't know that that was your hometown. So how long have you, I guess, been in Virginia then?
I got here I think ever since I was 6 or 7. And then yeah, and then I just started that. Before that, I lived in China. Before that, I was in China. After that, I was born in New York. Then my parents took me to China, so I was living with my grandparents. Then they took me back to New York. I think for a year. After that, I just came here around 6 or 7. I think 7. Yeah, I think 7.
That makes sense. And do you remember China?
Do I? Yes, I've been to China a couple of times just to visit my grandparents.
That makes sense. And overall, like since you've been in Virginia, have you always been like within the Hampton Roads region, or have you been to numerous spots within Virginia?
Been to Nova. I've been to I've been to the UVA section. I've been to Richmond. I've been to UVA. I went. Last tournament, table tennis was at JMU. So other than that, those are the area I've been to. Virginia Beach. Yeah, Norfolk was at which is at ODU. So yeah, been to other places in Virginia.
That makes sense. And have you lived in all those? I mean, those places too, or has it just been like within this area?
Within that area, I if I'm going to a different area, it's usually going to a different school. So because I do know a couple people at VCU and UVA, which I'll probably go up there just to attend parties or just hang out with them because my cousin's up there too. So I'll just go ahead and hang out with them. JMU is probably up there just for tournaments. That's it.
That makes sense. And and I guess within your time in college and otherwise, like, have you been able to, I mean, to meet a lot of people during your times in college and get to know others?
During, I guess I got a pretty small friend group because there's no point having a large friend group. So it's like too much social. I'll say that too much. Sometimes it's like to have some quiet times. So usually if they want to continue to talk to me, it's okay. I'm okay talking, continue like talk with them, hang out with them, play with them. But after that they stop, I'll stop too. So it's like, yeah, it's like I'll just let them have their time, and then I enjoy my time because yeah, I prefer to have a small friend group.
So yeah, so in that case, would you say that you are more on the introvert side then?
Yes, 100%. Depending on the situation, actually. Depending on the situation. Sometimes I do want to go out a lot with a bunch of people. So yeah, sometimes I do want to go out with like a bunch of friends, and then if my friend asks me to come, I say, "Who's coming? Who's coming?" Yeah. So yeah, but most likely I'm an introvert. So
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, I definitely feel that, like, for myself, I'm definitely an introvert. And but yeah, it's funny because like hosting these conversations, obviously, it's like, well, isn't this like, having conversations for other people? It's like, well, these are one-on-one conversations. That's easy. It'd be a little different if it was like a four-person conversation.
conversation. I mean, yeah, but sometimes I think I prefer to have a conversation at night because me and my friend talk about something deep, like feelings at during a nighttime. I think that's where we talk about feelings the most. Daytime, we just talk about random stuff.
So I mean, I definitely, yeah, agree with that, and I would say that, I mean, having really nice, fun conversations, especially at night, like, I completely relate to that 100%. Actually, our first discussion, I think, was actually pretty late, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so too. It was pretty late.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, I mean, this has been, like I said, so fun, Stephen, being able to, like I said, to catch up with you and see what you've been up to, and so overall, what would you say, like, that you are most excited about for, for entering the master's program full time in just a few months?
What's most likely? Let me see. How much less sleep I'm getting? I'm about to get. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the most exciting. Yeah.
Well, I definitely know that, I don't know. It's so interesting being a graduate student because it's like there's definitely a lot more course load and uh, definitely research,
Mm.
as you're well aware. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's kind of fun, and yeah, although less sleep definitely is quite a bit a part of it, sadly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be learning something that I'll be needing in the future. So that part I'm expecting, but I am ready to not get any sleep.
That makes perfect sense. And yeah, I mean, so for the spring semester that we're in, I guess, is there anything that you are most excited about continuing with, or and I, of course, I'm sure that you're, of course, so I know, of course, you're excited for your tournaments coming up, but is there anything else that you just, I guess, you're really excited about for this, this spring semester, and then heading into yet another summer?
The upcoming research project, I think, because that's we have a deadline, so which I guess I need to make like at least like a tiny bit of progress every week. If I don't, then I don't know how to present it because I'll be presenting it to like different professors, which because they'll be joining our meetings too. So it's a collab. So and I don't want to embarrass my instructor, so I have to make something, come up with something. So yeah, so it's so my instructor's reputation is on the line because I'm his student, technically his students too. So since he is like a teacher, so I'm technically his student. I don't want to embarrass him. His reputation is on the line. And so if I'm presenting it, I need to know my stuff. So that's why I need to prepare for it. If I do good, then I'm happy. If they, like if there's no issue came out, then I know I did good. I'll be happy. I can relax, and then start to suffer again after the next meeting. Yeah,
Yeah, well, overall, like, have you at least had fun adjusting to, I mean, to doing the research?
yeah. I had fun. I learned more and during the summer than I learned more than my all in my entire years of college. Yeah, because it's an actual experience I have, so it's I learn a lot more than because I feel like in college it's like learning the basic stuff, but this is something that I'll be using in real life, like in up for like companies and jobs and stuff like that. So this is something I know I'll be doing. So yeah.
Well, that makes perfect sense, though, and I'm just so glad though that you are enjoying it and getting a full use out of your research. Because, yeah, I mean, sometimes it's those those extra experiences that I don't know sort of enhance the learning to a better degree than you can ever learn in a classroom.
That is true. It is. It's it's more useful. I don't. After that, now I start thinking, what's the point of classes if I can just go for experience? But you need to learn it. You need to show that you know some of the basic even to get the experience. So yeah, I guess that's what it needs. But the research is something completely new. I never know about. I knew like I only know the basic language of it, which it requires more. But then I got my hands on it, so it's pretty quick. So yeah,
That makes sense. And out of curiosity, how many years have you been programming overall?
5.5.
Ah, that's impressive. And like, so I guess what would you say has been your favorite part of even learning all of the different programming languages and getting used to it?
Making my code running on the first try.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even though that my my hands-on experience with code is pretty limited, I for the little bit that I have done, I have become so frustrated with certain things, and so I can't even imagine for you that does this full time how much code that you'd have to go through to make sure that just everything works every time.
Yeah, like I mean, I don't really make sure everything works. I just follow the flow and then just pretend that's there. If it's not there, then okay, I'll just add it. If it's there, perfect. I'll just keep continue, and hopefully it runs on the first time. If it doesn't, it's not really a big deal because it's really my code never works on the first try. So a big project is never work on the first try. But if it's like a really small thing, like a couple lines, then usually works on the first try. Other than that, yeah, I need like a lot, like just like to run the code, a lot of tries to run the code just to make it work.
Yeah, I would bet. And yeah, I mean, like I said, this has just been so fun. And actually, before we begin any other discussion, I did actually have questions for you regarding just technology as a whole. And so I know during our last discussion, that released back in beginning of 2021, you had mentioned something that I think has just highly intrigued me over these years, and that you know is that more and more, like, with technology becoming such a big part of our lives, that we have practically just become attached to some of our devices and everything. And so I guess over these past few years, would you say that has increased? And what has been, I guess, your thoughts about everything?
Yes, it has increased ever since ChatGPT came out. I'm pretty sure everybody's using it instead of looking through Google and textbooks. Yeah, it has increased a lot. I'm 100% sure. And then more and more, once it start getting more advanced, more and more people is going to rely on it more, which that will be like OpenAI will probably make the one of the have the higher will probably be the one of the biggest company. It is right now, but it'll be even bigger because they know that people's gonna rely on it way too much to the point it's gonna, I'll say, nobody won't study because the material is already there. They already have the information that's like they're ready for it just for you to ask for it. But there's one issue is that it's not 100% true. I'll say it's about 80% true. But if you ask about some basic stuff, yes. But if you ask something that's like really like advanced, something like first like for me, like if you ask about like a program, it's not always 100% correct. Because when I looked at it, and then I looked at it, I read it, and then I was like, yeah, I think this is just messing with me. So I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm just gonna do my own research. I'm just gonna find my own way. So, but if it's like but if I looked at it, it looks correct, then I'll use it. But if it's not, then it's like I'll just go. I'll just probably look at Stack Overflow, Google, and other things just to complete my project.
And it does help too that you are literally researching and studying artificial intelligence at that.
So I know everything behind it. So how they got all that, I know everything. You're basically it's like same thing with Google. You're basically currently everybody right now is working for Google and OpenAI for free because they're getting the data for free. Yeah, and then so I know everything behind it.
Would you say that learning more about this has shifted some of your your online usage and habits?
No, I still use it because you cannot stop. I cannot stop using it because it's something that you need just to catch up in the upcoming technology. So I'll it's like I'll probably use it more, even though it's like even though the companies are most likely collecting data from us on every time we use something, and then for our future for like a future launch of projects stuff like that, or upgrading their own GPT stuff like that. But overall, I'll continue to use it because it not only benefits them, it benefits me too. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense though. And yeah, I mean, I feel like some of these technologies have become such an integral part of our lives. And yeah, a lot of times, you know, it's like because they've replaced so much part of what used to be our lives, it's like, what would we do without some of these technologies?
Mm, look through textbooks and and finishing projects and assignments in a slower pace. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm very excited to see what our future has to hold. And I guess looking past over these next few years, how would you say that technology will continue to progress as we continue moving forward, especially like with artificial intelligence and so many other, you know,
It,
and so many other amazing technological tools coming at our way?
it won't skyrocket. It's still gonna go at the same pace. So based on just my opinion though, it's like my theory. It's gonna go like slow because if you think about it, back in the 2000s, like everybody gonna think we have flying cars, but look at now. Like I mean, yeah, there is flying car, but it's not launched because you can't 100%. But there is self driving cars like Tesla now, which that took a bit. So yeah, and then I think everything will still be the same, but it won't change for another. I'll say it won't like change like a lot for another. I'll say another 20 years.
That makes sense, and we'll have to see, like I said, how everything continues to progress. But like I said, this has been so fun being able to catch up, Stephen. And yeah, I definitely hope that you keep in touch with me, and I can't wait to see, all that you're doing both now and in the future as you pursue your master's degree.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and so if anyone wants to tune into the stuff that you are doing online, where would the best places be to potentially check you out and follow you?
I guess my Instagram. I guess if you search up Stephen Chen, if you see a profile picture with a clown and me, like the movie It, with a me on it, then that's pretty much yeah, that's pretty much me. That's my page, and then I'll be sending it to you. Like, and if anybody has any questions, then they can just message me about it.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, I did want to allow for a moment for you, Stephen, to go ahead and close out our conversation, whether it be with a life lesson, inspirational thought, or whatever the case may be. The floor is all yours, Stephen.
Inspiration thoughts? Hmm. Actually, I don't know. Um, I will say is that en- enjoy as much time as possible, even though you're on the edge, but still enjoy it.
I love that. And like I said, Stephen, this has been so fun being able to chat again. I loved the casual conversation we had last time, and I love that we were able to continue that into this time.
Me too.
Well, until next time, have an amazing rest of your day and continue tuning in next week as we continue on our mission to bring people together. I'll see you next time. Take care.